Good evening, everybody, and welcome today to evening number 58. Unbelievable war in Ukraine. Seeing a lot of you guys in there chatting. I think I did see you, Mr. McElvey from Alabama. God bless you. Yeah, had some pretty weather today here in Pennsylvania finally, and I think the weekend should be pretty decent as well. But who knows? It will probably be snowing by Tuesday. Who knows? It's been a very, very unique year, but today was pretty. Was able to get out and about and got a lot accomplished. Actually went out to the Greenville airport, watched a few airplanes take off and land, and just had a good time. So it's very nice out there outside of Greenville watching that happen. The other cool thing that happened was I was the emergency chopper that works Greenville, our area in Grove City, couldn't land at the hospital because he had to burn off some fuel. So pretty interesting. That happened when I was at the airport, and it was fun to watch the helicopter pilot come and burn off fuel on the air territory of the airport there. He was rolling, doing some cool maneuvers, and basically burning some fuel. Pretty interesting is what it was. So, good day. Welcome to all of you. Wilberforce, thank you, my friend. You're always there with the shout outs and the likes. Appreciate everything. Appreciate that from everybody. Benjamin Waldrum checking in from Carson City, Nevada. Your mug will be on the screen in a little while. In fact, folks, tonight there is quite a few interesting things that we're going to talk about. And if you saw the introduction to or the advertisement for the program tonight, it was called the Putin Plan. And we now have the revealed plan from the Kremlin. We've known this, but now it has been confirmed from the Kremlin as some of the goals in the near term for the Russian invasion of Ukraine. What's interesting about it is they really want some victories by Easter, which is one more day, but really the ultimate day they want some victories is by May the 9th, which is Victory Day in Russia. So we shall see. I want to jump to it. Thank you for being here on this Friday evening. And as always, if you send in a picture, we'll put it up. This is a picture sent in from the metropolis of Kennard, Pennsylvania. I'm talking a mega city, but they are flying the flags. We see the American flag and we see the Ukrainian flag there. Thank you guys for flying the flag, American flag and the Ukrainian flag. So big shout out there to Kennard, Pennsylvania. Now, I will tell you this, and this will make all of our veterans in here and tactical military folks that keep me straight very happy. So I will give you some code language tonight. Operation Zhenya, Zheka, you now understand that name. Operation Zheka is in full force. Goals are being accomplished, and I'm not going to tell you where he is. Now, if he calls me, I can't help it. But let me tell you, he's doing well, kicking, and getting her done. So we may or may not hear from him tonight. We'll see. But he's rolling, and for all of you tactical guys out there, all is well. Rick Barry, you keep me straight, man. Let's get right to it because I've got quite a bit of video I want to share with you tonight. But this is actually what's happening current time on the strike map. This is across the entire front lines, and you would consider that all the way from the north, wrapping around, of course. And by now, you know the Ukrainian map pretty well. But you can see there the strikes, especially in the south, and you will understand that more in a moment. I have another graphic for you that I'm going to show you, but the shelling in the south, Zaporozhye, and even on that map there, Mykolaiv is not there. It's to the left. Basically, the bottom left there is Energodar, where the nuclear power plant is, but you can see the strikes all across the lines. And unfortunately, I have to report tonight that where you see the blue airplane, let me ask you guys a question. When I put my mouse on that screen right there, that's my output. Do you guys see my cursor? If somebody would let me know, I would appreciate that. I believe I have the settings set where you can view my cursor. I hope so. If not, I'll call Steven and get it fixed. But let me know if you see my cursor. It's on the bottom left of the screen right now. Do you guys see that right there? Don Gentilini, Pastor Greg, God bless you for telling the truth about this genocide in Ukraine. Your model for us about how much you value democracy and freedom. Okay, you guys do not see a cursor. That's all I need to know. Me and Mr. Haywood will get that fixed. So bottom left, guys, you see the airplane symbol in the blue? Unfortunately, many times on this operation map, the blue is actually good and the red is bad, looking at it from the Ukrainian viewpoint. But unfortunately, in this situation, the blue is not good. Today, Ukraine's military experienced a plane crash. It happened right outside of Zaporozhye as they were trying to run some. It wasn't a fighter. It was a larger aircraft for support, and it crashed, lost some troops there. That is what the blue airplane is for in the bottom. So want to pay tribute to those members of the Air Force that gave their life today down near Zaporozhye. So you can see, folks, the intense shelling that is going on. We're going to look at that a little closer in just a second. Next, you know how everybody's been saying that it's quiet in Belarus? It has been, but this is an updated map. You can look on the date. It is April the 22nd, upper left-hand corner, between 1 and 5 p.m., and that would be Ukraine/Belarus time. A significant increase in military activity, both Belarusian and Russian, with 9 different movements happening. You see on the left 1, 8, and 6. That's near Minsk and the upper portions of Belarus. But the zoom in is right above the border. On the right side, where you see the red line at the bottom, that is actually the border of Ukraine. And over to the right, where you see numbers 2, 3, 4, and 5, that would be coming in back toward Chernihiv and down towards Kyiv. They are still in Belarus, but the military activity increased significantly in Belarus today. Now, I want to go back over to the eastern map, and I want to zoom in. You guys now know very well the city of Kramatorsk. We've been talking about that city for weeks and weeks. Of course, it is extremely well known for the missile attack that happened at the train station. And as you guys know, you've been here with me most nights. I've been to Kramatorsk many times. It's a very, very key city. It's not the biggest city, but it's very key for infrastructure, for military, for transportation. I have it outlined in the green there. That is the city of Kramatorsk, and you can see all of the pushes from the red. This is not a map I created. This is a map that was sent out from Ukraine. The blue lines are the front lines of fighting. You see the graphic on the right of the pinch or a pincer movement. We've been talking about it for weeks. It's getting closer to happening. I will tell you this on the good side. The Ukrainian army is also trying to pinch the Russian army in Izum. They're trying to push in from below Kharkiv and then push from Kramatorsk, and instead of being caught in the trap, catch the opponent in the trap. That's war. That is the ground war that we are witnessing. But I can tell you, by kilometers or miles, either way you want to think, that pinch is shrinking. It is getting smaller, and Russia has made some movements in regard to the pinch. Tonight, I want to also share with you guys, we're going to get into some really interesting things in just a moment. We know the Moskva has been sunk, but today there was confirmation by Ukraine and other nations' intelligence as well that there are 4 ballistic cruise missile submarines active in the Black Sea, fully loaded, ready to roll. They are there to offset some of the firepower that was lost with the Moskva sinking. These ships are there. They have been relocated, or these submarines rather, and they are just buying their time. You do realize, maybe not, but this class submarine from the Russian military can, of course, fire ballistic and cruise missiles from below the surface. And I think what I read and what I saw was 50 meters down, they can launch 150 feet plus. Of course, we have the same, or actually, we have better technology, but these submarines are now there for support. Tonight, we're going to talk about the Putin Plan. The Kremlin today made it very clear. We're also going to continue to talk about media. We're going to talk about the power of media. I'm going to show you guys a few clips from Russian television today. I'm going to show you a clip from Ukrainian television today. And I'm here to tell you, and I will show you, that Russia hacked, Hacked, the television airwaves of Ukraine. And I will show you what they did, and kind of interesting. But before we do all of that, I want to start with a few things. You know, we keep hearing that it's Ukraine that are the Nazis. It's Ukraine that needs to be denazified. But the world is learning that it's actually Russia that needs to be denazified. I'm going to show you tonight some similarities between World War II and this war. Right now, I'm going to show you a video clip comparing 1942 versus 2022. We'll start there tonight. And of course, that's not the Ukrainian Air Force flying the Z. That was the German Luftwaffe flying the swastika. And that is the Russian Air Force flying the Z there in the sky. How come no one is covering the news about U.S. food processing plants blowing up and catching fire? I do not know. Who is Steve and where is he? You know, when you're live streaming each evening, you sure do get some interesting questions. Who is Steve? Well, Steve, I don't know. It's Friday night, so I'll be a little bit more relaxed. I don't know who Steve is. Let's see here. The Soviet submarine base on the Crimean Peninsula is their most important warm water naval base. 100%. 100%. Russia has 3 main bases. They have the Pacific Fleet, of course, over near Vladivostok. And of course, Japan is rumbling quite a bit right now with the Kuril Islands. They also have the Baltic Fleet And now, of course, over the past 8 years, they've had the Black Sea Fleet based there in Crimea. They have some serious firepower there. Yes, they lost the Moskva, but those subs, they're pretty tough. Tonight, I want to talk to you about some numbers, and then we're going to get into a little bit more of the fantasy versus reality, and then look at Stephen Haywood, Steve Harvey, Steve Garvey, Steve Jobs. Stephen is the gentleman that is a broadcast engineer that helps me with all of the production. He has helped our church immensely with our production, our streams, and then, of course, here with what we do to complement. He's the man. He's a professional, and he helps take care of me on the technical side. All right, so this is all in a language you can't read. It's in Ukrainian, but I will read it for you. A couple of days ago, these are the numbers that Ukraine released, and it's agreed within the world. Ukraine has received, and this is just up to a couple of days ago, it's now more, but $18 billion. I want you to think about that for a moment. $18 billion in aid. We're going to look at it a little closer. Of course, the biggest contributor to that, and I'm thankful for this, the United States, 4.9. I know there you see MLH. Well, you don't see MLH. I do. I actually see MLN, million, but that's actually billion in the Ukrainian language and the Russian language. So $4.9 billion of aid, whether it's humanitarian or military, the United States has provided Ukraine. Some other nations, just so you can know, Japan, 200 million. You're saying, hang on, PG, I see the same letters there, that M and that funny letter and that H. Yeah, but you see 200. Look over here, 4,900. That moves it to the billion from the million, 4.9 billion. This is 200 million. France has given over 700 million. How about our friends from up north, Canada, over 1 billion in aid? Great Britain, 700 million. The European Investment Bank is on the left. They've given Ukraine a $735 million credit. Poland in the middle, 950 million, basically a billion. Then the International Monetary Fund on the right, $1.4 billion in aid. The World Bank, 350 million. Friends, this is what I want. Friends who've helped. That would be you and I, friends that have helped. And tonight I'd like to share with you, it's not to the penny, PK, sorry, but we're really close. He likes it to the penny, but we're at north of $83,500 that we have worked together over the past 58 days to raise for the aid in Ukraine. Communicating with Zhenya, communicating with Rostik, you get to see daily where your gifts, your giving are going there straight. No fees are taken out. If anything, it's more going there. Everything, every penny plus is what we say is getting to the target. And we mean that literally in some cases. So we're very, very thankful to you. Updated numbers tonight, and I told you they would be coming. So the reason I waited for them is because I wanted you to see this $1.5 billion have come from friends. That's just people, not organizations, who've given. So we are a part of that 1.5. The European Union in the middle, 1.3 billion. How about this one? The European Bank, 2.2 billion. Some folks in Europe understand that Ukraine must win this war. How about individuals and companies? I'll just give you a couple there. Look at the top one, second one from the left. Top, second from the left. It's Epic Games. That's the maker of Fortnite, the most popular game in the world. They've given $144 million. Epic Games. Big shout out for a gaming company. Of course, many of their programmers are Ukrainian. Right below that, Ashton Kutcher and I think her name is Mila Kunis have given $36 million. Think about that, folks. On the left, 71, hey, for you IA guys, $71 million in Bitcoin has been donated to Ukrainian relief funds. And let's see, what else is up there? Turkish relief fund on the right, 22 million. It's just interesting to see how everyone is coming together. We're very, very thankful for that. Why is it important that this is happening? Why is it important that we continue to give? Why is it important that we continue to update nightly? Because, folks, I'm just going to be honest with you, especially after the revelation of Vladimir Putin today and the Kremlin, they are not going to stop. It's even clearer after the revelations from the Kremlin today. It's absolutely clear. We must continue. We must support. We're in for the long haul. I want to show you a clip now of why we must continue. Today, out of Chechnya. I did not translate this because it's really not important for you to understand what they're saying. Basically, what you're going to see is Chechen soldiers departing today, heading to eastern Russia, heading to eastern Ukraine, to fight. And just, you can see the faces, you can see the patches, you can see the Z's, you can see the buses. I just want you to get a flavor of what's coming. And on this one, understanding the language, where is Israel? Have they given anything? I'm waiting for it to pop up here. I'll come back to that. I'll answer that right after this. Guys, check. Here's Chechnya.
Российская Федерация считалась за честь защита своей родины. Мы собрались воевать именно против нацизма, против фашизма. Защитить свою родину, защитить русскоязычное население Донбасса. Если среди вас есть на данный момент даже те, кто передумал, можете делать шаг вперед, мы это все поймем. Ребята, спасибо вам. Спасибо вашим матерям. Сегодня нас здесь, именно в Чеченской Республике, собрал наш глава Чеченской Республики, герой России Рамзан Ахматович Кадыров, который с первого же дня военной операции в Украине, вы сами это знаете, видите. Из-за того, что вы это увидели и услышали, вы находитесь здесь, на территории Чеченской Республики. Удачи вам, ребята, чтобы домой все приехали без потерь, без ранений. Ахмат! Аллаху Акбар!
Сегодня вы идете защищать мирное население Донбасса. Я уверен, что с поставленной задачей вы справитесь. Я желаю вам удачи, самое главное, живыми и здоровыми, чтобы вы вернулись к своим семьям. Ахмат! Аллаху Акбар!
Я приехал с Карачаева-Черкесии, проходил здесь подготовку, все на высшем уровне, мы готовы к бою.
Приехал с города Саратов, подготовку прошли успешно, обеспечение более чем ожидалось, даже если честно. Вот, ребята, если кто имеет желание, патриотизм, приезжайте, поддерживайте.
Сам я уроженец Приднестровья. Хочу сказать спасибо Рамзану Ахматовичу Кадырову за то, что нас тренируют лучшие инструкторы, предоставили всю экипировку. Хочу сказать, Ахмат, сила!
عمل حاجة نيقات دلا томба резиду почали любым шахтах ходос даму.
Я из города Казани. Встретили очень хорошо, подготовили хорошо. Хотел победить Бандеру. И еще раз хочу сказать, что мы победим.
So there you have it. Couple of questions. Jeff Burnett, you asked, who are the shown Chechens fighting for and against? The Chechens are fighting their allies with Russia. Their famous leader, Kurdakov, is there. Chechens are already there by the thousands and thousands, and they're butchers. In fact, the Chechens have been very responsible for the genocide that is taking place in Mariupol. They're butchers, and they are fighting for JDO. Great comment. They are fighting for Russia. You could also see the Russian tags on their uniforms and the Z's. John, has Israel given anything? Israel to this point, Israel up to 48 hours ago had supplied humanitarian aid, and they've been bickering over the refugees. You have to understand, in Israel, many Ukrainians are already living, so they're trying to get their family to them. So there's been some challenge in that, and I know that seems odd. Well, why isn't Israel helping? But 48 hours ago, Israel shifted their policy. Israel is now they're beginning to send military aid in as far as armor, the initial, not heavy weapons. And the reason they shifted their policy is because the Kremlin came out a couple of days ago and just made some off remarks about how Jerusalem could be in the sights. You can look that up yourselves. You can Google it. It was some off comments made about Jerusalem within the last 3 or 4 days. And it's just interesting. Now Israel is starting to supply some military aid. They have already been supplying humanitarian and medical. This is the comment I thought was interesting from JDO. It's so ironic to see Islamic soldiers fighting for a godless state. You are exactly right. Michael Hogan talking about Germany. Yes, I've got an update on that, and you will have it in just a few minutes. It's got its own slide. The mayor of Mariupol, and I want to talk about Mariupol a little bit tonight. The mayor of Mariupol has asked for one clear day. One clear day. We keep hearing about the soldiers that are still in the Azovstal steel plant, and they're still there. Now, I have not seen a post from the 36th Brigade guy that I made a friend with on Facebook in the last 12 hours. And we did not get a video in the last few hours today from the Azov deputy commander, Palomar. So we'll see. Of course, I show those guys things every night it comes out because it's become a personal story for us. Now, last night, I showed you all of the troops leaving Mariupol, and you could see them rejoicing and running around in their tanks. Well, they're heading on to fight and to push on into Ukraine. But here's the deal. Do not think for one moment that there are no soldiers in Mariupol. There are plenty of soldiers, and now Russia has sent in their national police. Do you remember World War II where you had the soldiers and then you had the SS? Just maybe if you're not doing anything else tonight, watch a quick documentary on the SS. This is basically what has been left in Mariupol. It's locked, folks. And Mariupol is continuing to be shelled. Mariupol was unable to evacuate today as normal. I think yesterday they did squeeze out 79 people. I can also tell you, and I did not show a picture of this, but satellite imagery has revealed a massive mass grave, freshly dug. And the satellite imagery is day by day actually showing it being done. And of course, it's not the Ukrainians. So we know that the Russian forces have buried a significant amount of people. It's a huge area. And we also know that there are 13 crematorium trucks operating in Mariupol. It's tragic. And it's going to be shocking when the truth comes out. Okay, with that said, I want to move on now to what we were going to talk about tonight. This is Alexi Danilov talking about the deportation of Ukrainians. He came out last night with these statements very late to concentration camps in Siberia, and he wanted the world to know that forced labor is real. Which, just think about that. Slaves, this is what we're talking about. Slavery, forced. Details. Not only has Putin decided on a large-scale invasion, this is the decision of the top political leadership of Russia. The task of the Russian Federation is to destroy our country, our people, and to colonize Ukraine, Danilov said. There is no doubt that Russia will not stop. Now, here's what's interesting, and I have this slide in front of the next one. Danilov last night said, there is no doubt that Russia will not stop until we drive them out of all of our territories, including Crimea. The war will not end. So you've got it. That's what Danilov said. It would have been early this morning, Ukraine time, but it would have been right after we streamed last night. This came across, and I actually prepared that last night knowing I was going to share it, but not knowing what would be released from the Kremlin today. And here is what has come from the Kremlin today. This is what I've called today the Putin Plan. Russian President Vladimir Putin told the European Council President Charles Michel that he would not only hold direct talks, that he would only hold direct talks with Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky if discussions produced concrete results. Putin said Kyiv, meaning Ukrainian government, was not ready to seek mutually acceptable solutions, and Ukraine was being inconsistent in negotiations. Earlier this week, the Kremlin spokesperson Dmitry Peskov, I've showed you quite a few videos from this guy, said Russia had handed key documents to Ukraine to take forward peace talks, and the ball was in Ukraine's court. But Zelensky later, even today, said Ukraine has not received any documents from Russia. It's just fake. It's not real. These are all jokes. Danilov was right. They must be defeated, and they want all of Ukraine. And not only Ukraine, they want these bordering nations in Europe as well. This is why Germany is in the predicament that it is in. Now, speaking of fake, let me show you this. This is going to zoom in. I'll translate it for you. This was today on Ukraine. This is Ukrainian television giving an update from the media center. It has a ticker just like you would see on your Fox News or Newsmax or whatever you watch, the ticker going across the bottom. Well, basically like we have here as well at the bottom. Simple. Here's the ticker. Russia hacked it today, and it had to be refuted as fake. I'll translate it for you. Guys, given the update, you're going to see the camera zoom in here. The white ticker on the bottom. Your president is dead. It is over. Kyiv has fallen. Glory to Russia. And the red star, it loops. Your president is dead. The operation is over. Folks, that is what was hacked onto Ukrainian television today. So think about that for a moment. Think how secure Ukraine is trying to keep their media, as any nation would. But Russia still had the ability to hack into Ukrainian television and put that ticker on their live broadcast. That is why I ask you guys every day, when you read something on Google or you see something shared on Facebook, something comes across YouTube, or in this situation, especially for this war, it comes across your news source of choice. It should be 9 o'clock at night right here, and spend the rest of your day with your family and doing good things for people. We'll tell you the truth. Folks, it can be faked so easily. It can be hacked so easily. Ukrainians were in an uproar thinking they had lost and Zelensky was killed. They had to come out quickly, get it down, and get the truth out to their people. But that was Russia hacking Ukraine today. It's the power of technology. So the 3 war goals. This has come from the Kremlin today. 3 war goals, April 22nd. Number 1, control all of the Donbass region. Control all of the Donbass region. we'll go one at a time because I want you to understand the map here. And we're going to go in red for this one. And I'm going to make the pin real big. So Donbass would be this territory right here. I'm going to put the Ukrainian border up just so you can see. So this is the territory. Goal number 1, to control Donbass. That's number 1. Now let's go back. Goal number 2, creation of the land corridor to Crimea. Okay. That's already happened. It's as of right now. So the occupation line right now is right below Zaporozhye and then below the Dnieper and then right down below Mykolaiv and down. This is all under occupied, and this is Crimea. Of course, this is all Ukrainian sovereign territory. That has been accomplished because they already as well have a land bridge here. So you can see. Now, go back to number 3 out of the Kremlin today. Control all southern territory of Ukraine, connecting Russia to the Transnistria region of Moldova. Let me repeat that for you. And you being here each night, you know exactly where the Transnistria is. You know exactly what it is. You know where Moldova is, but I'm going to show you on the map. This is goal number 3. So let me put in, let's just real quick. This is still Ukrainian border. All of my Ukrainian friends message me and say, oh man, Greg, thank you for drawing the Ukrainian border properly with all of the sovereign territory of Ukraine. So there's Ukraine. Let's go with an orange. This is Transnistria. And Putin said the next is to control the south and connect to the Transnistria, which would be like this. All of Odessa. Okay, folks, you talking about that's his goal. Now, then you have little Moldova sitting here who is being too quiet. Well, they're in trouble. Then here is Romania. Here's Hungary. Oh, Hungary is the one that's being kind of friends with Russia. Okay, let's take Hungary out of the equation because Hungary is not going to support UN activity. You see what's happening? Now, all you have left then, folks, if that happens, is Kyiv and Lviv. Do you think he then stops? Of course not. It just continues. So that is the outline goal today. All that tells us is they're not stopping. They're going to keep going. With that said, I want to share with you tonight a compilation of a video clip I've put together. It was sent to me, but I edited it to make it suitable for you, comparing the actions of Adolf Hitler in World War II, statements made, comparing to Vladimir Putin, statements he has made. And all we have to understand is, when did Germany stop? Germany stopped when they were defeated. They never stopped. Putin is saying the same thing as Hitler. Do you think he's just going to take his tanks and go home? Absolutely not. Very, very, very interesting right here.
Мы настойчиво и терпеливо пытались договориться с ведущими сторонами НАТО.
Es ist eine Lüge, wenn in den anderen Welt behauptet wird, dass wir alle unsere Revisionen nur versuchen, unter Druck durchzusetzen.
Мы никому и ничего не собираемся навязывать силой.
Alle diese Gebiete verdanken ihre kulturelle Erschließung ausschließlich dem deutschen Volk. Sie wurden von uns getrennt. Sie kennen die endlosen Versuche, die ich machte, zu einer friedlichen Klärung, zu einer Verständigung über das Problem Österreich, später über das Problem Sudetenland, Böhmen und Mähren. Es war alles vergeblich.
Бесконечно долгих 8 лет мы делали все возможное, чтобы ситуация была разрешена мирными, политическими средствами. Все напрасно.
Deutschland hat keine Interessen im Westen. Und der Westwall, so bleibt für alle Zeiten die Grenze des Reiches nach dem Westen.
В наши планы не входит оккупация украинских территорий.
Den anderen deutschen Gebieten des Ostens, vor allem aber die dort lebenden deutschen Minderheiten und das Wahlvolk, die weisen nicht anders.
Ее цель – защита людей, которые на протяжении 8 лет подвергаются издевательствам, геноциду со стороны киевского режима.
Danzig war und ist eine deutsche Stadt. Korridor war und ist deutsch.
Украина для нас – это не просто соседняя страна. Это неотъемлемая часть нашей собственной истории, культуры, духовного пространства.
Ich will nicht den Kampf gegen Frauen und Kinder führen. Ich habe meiner Luftwaffe den Auftrag gegeben.
Особо хочу подчеркнуть, вооруженные силы России не наносят ударов по городам Украины. Мирному населению ничего не угрожает.
I thought that was a pretty interesting comparison there. Has Zelensky made a clear plan of succession so the Ukrainian people understand? Yes, sir. I will tell you this. They are planned out to the T. They are planned out for all scenarios. They do it right. We'll just leave it there. And the one thing that I really appreciate about Ukraine right now, yes, they've had, of course, in a war situation, some infighting, as any would, disagreements, but it has not superseded the Ukrainian goal of defending their homeland and being one. It's kind of like I had to answer and show weeks and weeks ago when, everybody's saying, oh, Poroshenko. Well, let me say it this way. The previous president, he's fighting against Zelensky. And instantly I had to show, no, that's not accurate. And first of all, his name is Peter Poroshenko. And he's the chocolate king because he owned chocolate companies, just if you wanted to know. He's not. He's helping Zelensky, and he's doing everything in his power to support. So yes, they are prepared. Today, I do not ever want to be political in here, especially on the American side. I know we all have different opinions, and that's not what these hours are about each night. They are about the war in Ukraine, in our efforts to tell the truth and to support them every day. But with that said, I do share things that go a little sideways from whatever country, either humorous or not. But today, this was shared throughout the nation of Ukraine, and the tag title was, and I'm just going to share it. I'm not going to comment. And I asked you guys not on the chat comments to go crazy on this because we probably have similar opinions. But hitting the Ukrainian media today, big time, was this. Joe Biden, Putin has failed to achieve his grand ambitions on the battlefield. President Zelensky and his democratically elected government remain in power, and Ukrainian armed forces, joined by brave Ukrainian civilians, have thwarted Russia's conquest of their country. Folks, I know that looks good. I know it sounds good. Ukraine was not happy with that statement today. You come here each evening for the truth. Why? Because there was no acknowledgement of the thousands and thousands and thousands of people who have died for no reason. The people that have been slaughtered, the people that have been stolen. You would look at that tweet and think, what, did Russia surrender? Ukraine was not happy with that tweet today. Secondly, there was a video released of President Biden giving a speech. Ukraine then took it and run with it. And their tagline was, can we trust the American president to help us? And folks, it's no different than me telling you the truth about Germany's leader, Schultz. He's in hot water. But today Biden put out that tweet and then made a speech, went sideways, and Ukraine just ran with it, saying, how can we trust? Well, thank you for the gifts. Thank you for the money. Thank you for starting to send us heavier weapons. And I can tell you some have arrived because President Zelensky said they arrived today. So we're thankful for that. We're thankful that the United States leads the way in giving resources. Most of us watching this stream, most of the nights, are Americans. We love our country, and we do our best to support this nation that is going through this unbelievable war right now. But these tweets like this are just meant to be rallying, but very insensitive. And then videos like this, and Ukraine just ran with it today.
Just some of what this investment will do. First, thanks to Ron Wyden and Jeff Merkley and Earl, excuse me. I know. You can call me Biden. Joe Biden.
Now, I want to be very clear. I didn't edit that. That's not my work. I didn't put the Ukrainian taglines on the bottom. They're showing everything that world leaders like Biden, Boris Johnson, Duda in Poland, anybody making any speech, because they're waiting to hear if anything is going to be said to help their nation. I didn't translate that. They showed it. They put the funny glasses on it. I didn't do it. It just shows, come on, let's be very careful what we say and what we do. Now, meanwhile, while that's happening, this is what's happening. And I know you guys enjoy this. Well, you don't enjoy it, but it's interesting that you can have a peek into the Russian media, into the Russian propaganda with the translation at the bottom, so you understand what they're saying. I'm going to show you two little short clips on that tonight. The first one is that crew each evening spewing venom and propaganda. They're talking about their missile test and about America.
Американцев таких ракет нет и никогда не было. Чем привлекателен Южный полюс? А мы сразу знаем, куда ее запускать, да? Ну, конечно. Через Южный полюс, через Северный. Нет, ну, речь идет, у нас только одна цель. Нет, речь идет, конечно, о территории, континентальной территории Соединенных Штатов.
Ну так, на секунду. Эта ракета, если окажется там, где, в общем, она могла бы оказаться в худшем случае, способна уничтожить какого рода объекты, какие площади, территории?
Ну, я вам так скажу, что если 7,5 мегатонн будет доставлено на территорию, как говорится, нашего партнера, то...
Тут слово партнер очень важно.
Да, то такие объекты, как город Нью-Йорк. Хороший город, но его не будет. Вообще. Одной ракеты, конечно. Совсем. От слова совсем. Вот. Поэтому лучше не надо. Красивый американцы, город. Кстати, они всегда боялись наших тяжелых ракет.
My mic is not working. It's just ridiculous. That is the venom spewed every day. And I know you go, well, they're just talking heads propaganda guys. This is why I like you guys being here each evening, so I can tell you the truth. Folks, that's not a CNN with 700,000 viewers. That's not a Fox with 2 million viewers. That is on every television. Everybody sees it. This is pushed by the Kremlin. This is pushed by the media. It is completely controlled. Your media in America or whatever country you're watching from tonight is not controlled. You do not have to turn anything on. You do not have to do anything. There, you're going to see it one way or the other. It's going to come to you in print. It's going to come to you on the television. And folks, everybody has a television. I'm telling you. So when you see, oh, they're talking about a rocket and America's scared and shooting it at New York, I'm not concerned about that at all. At all. We can wear them out as we should right now. But the reason I show you this stuff occasionally is because you need to understand the mentality there. 6 months ago, these guys were saying, we're going to take Ukraine. We're going to take Ukraine. We're going to take Ukraine. We're going to invade Ukraine. And then we're going to Europe next. And nobody believed it while Russia was moving the military to the border. And then all of a sudden, on February 24th, the beginning of what we are now witnessing happens. And now for people to say, oh, they'll stop with Donbass. That's why Putin came out today and says, not just Donbass, South and land bridge to Crimea and over connecting us to Transnistria. Next, I'm telling you, it's Kyiv, and they're going to push right to Poland and the Baltics. It's logical. There is a reason that Finland and Sweden is joining NATO like that. You don't think they have some intelligence? And I don't mean here. I mean intelligence of what's going on. Absolutely they do. They know. How about this one?
Это прокси-война. Имеет главную цель ослабить Россию, в целом русский мир, потому что на войне гибнут в первую очередь главный русский генотип, который должен, по идее, дать потомство. И на сегодняшний день это тоже входит, наверное, в рамки геноцида, когда через войну пытаются привести к точке невозврата и невозможности возродиться нации за счет уничтожения самых здоровых, самых умных, самых продуктивных представителей нации.
Ну, то есть, иными словами, если мы исходим из того, что русские и украинцы один народ, то прямо сейчас этот народ вымирает.
Вот вы представляете, у вас на кухне живут тараканы. И вы сумели создать такие условия, что они начали убивать друг друга. А вы, соответственно, их подкармливаете ту сторону, которая проигрывает, для того, чтобы потери были как можно больше. Сами американцы строго заявляют, что мы воевать не собираемся. И они хотят добиться всех своих военно-политических целей этими действиями.
There you have it. Who are they talking about? America. They're talking about also their cleansing of Ukraine, the roaches. This is no different than Joseph Goebbels, World War II. I'm telling you. And I see many of you commenting the same thing, and I see JDO and Rick Barry having a good conversation. It's spot on. If you publicly acknowledge, okay, you can say, oh, that's genocide, that's war crimes. But if you begin to publicly acknowledge, whether it's the President of the United States, President of Germany, anybody, then you're required to do something about it. So it's a very good, and that's in regard to us stepping up and getting more involved. Folks, Germany, there was a question earlier, and as we're closing tonight, here's your answer. It's no bueno. Schultz he has his hand in the Russian cookie jar. He has his hand in the Russian cookie jar. It's ridiculous. He says the embargo on Russian gas will not stop the war in Ukraine. Well, of course it will not, but you will stop feeding the war machine, sir. As the politician said in an interview with Spiegel, Germany cannot abandon, just listen, Russian energy sources, since this will greatly harm the economy and at the same time will not help stop the war in Ukraine. He also said this is not about making money, but about avoiding a dramatic economic crisis, the loss of millions of jobs and industries. I don't see the gas embargo putting an end to the war at all. If Putin had been open to economic arguments, he would have never started this crazy war. I have to say, we cannot allow this. Is anyone really thinking about the global implications? So once again, Ukrainian media, world media, German media ran with this. I don't know what planet this guy's on, but it's not Earth. It's not. And this gentleman right here, we don't have to do nothing. The citizens of Germany are going nuts over their leader right now. Okay, so we can't stop buying their oil, but what happens when they come for you? It's just, it's, this crisis. Clueless. There's your answer and update on Germany. Last thing I want to show you tonight, and then I have something from one of our viewers out of Nevada. This is the city of Nova Kakhovka. The city of Nova Kakhovka. This is, I'll show you where it's at, just so you know. Let me clear, and then I'll take you down there and show you Nova Kakhovka. Nova Kakhovka is, where's Mariupol? Nova Kakhovka is right here. Right there. That's Nova Kakhovka. Of course, right below Energodar, above Melitopol, all of those areas. That's where it is. I'll pull out so you can see the whole map. That's where this town is located. As you can see, it's completely occupied. But not only that, I put up a couple of the pretty pictures here. You can see in front of the town hall. The thing that was interesting to me is it's not just the Russian flag flying. On the left, you have the Donetsk flag flying, but on the right, you have the Soviet Union flag flying. Just interesting. Not just the Russian flag, but on the right, you can see it. I've got it circled. The Soviet flag, the hammer and sickle. Very, very, very interesting. Folks, last thing tonight. This is Pastors Ben and Pam Waldron, Carson City, Nevada. Their church is called or the name of their church is Well of Worship. And I think now the subtitle of their church, or their tagline, is a local church with a global impact is larger now than ever. They've been very supportive in raising of funds to assist. They are faithful partners to us supporting Ukraine and their church. This is a wonderful, wonderful couple, very dear friends of mine. Benjamin messaged me this morning and said, you know what? I've got a scripture that I want you to share with the guys in Ukraine. I said, I'll do better than that. I'll share it with the entire stream and with them, with those guys. So it's from Psalm 31. He sent me verse 21. I'm doing 21 and 22, but he said basically the entire 31st Psalm. So if you want something good to read tonight or tomorrow, check out Psalm 31. This is PK, the New Living Translation. Scripture says, praise the Lord, for he has shown me the wonders of his unfailing love. He kept me safe when my city was under attack. In panic, I cried out, I am cut off from the Lord, but you heard my cry for mercy and answered my call for help. Ben, I know when the Ukrainians are watching this in the morning, and they do, they'll be encouraged by that, as we all are. Folks, that's it. That's update day 58. The update day 58. I can't believe it's been that many. Thank you, guys. Continue to pray for Ukraine. Thank you for continuing to give. We're pushing to that $100,000 number, and we're going to make it. And we're going to continue to support our friends. I did not hear from Zhenya during the broadcast, but I know he's well. I know he's well, and the operation is ongoing. For sure, we will have an update from him tomorrow. Lord bless you, keep you, cause his face to shine upon you, be gracious to you, give you peace. Peace upon Ukraine. Have a great Friday night. See you in 23 hours.